My name is Dan Crawford. I am co-owner of Titan Games in Peoria, Illinois, and I started playing Magic in 1994. It's really weird. I remember it like it was yesterday, which is crazy. I was this fat kid in high school. It's my freshman year. My friend Dave, his dad owned a KB toy store, or he would manage a KB toy store, and they were talking about this new cardboard game, and so I had to play it. And ever since then, I've been hooked, and it's been a crazy ride ever since then. If you'd have asked me that my career would have been involved with gaming or card gaming or board gaming, I would have laughed at you. I remember when I was 18 years old and I was in the back of a van driving out of town with a guy and some friends, and I saw Magic cards, and I said, if I'm 28 years old and I'm still playing Magic, I'm gonna hate myself. Well, here I am, 38, and I'm still playing Magic. It's probably the greatest experience in the 38 years of my life that I have experienced. I've met all of my friends, or most of my friends, through Magic the Gathering. I've met most of my coworkers. I've introduced new people to Magic, teach new people to play the game all the time. We have board game and card game clubs at it's actually 4 different grade schools and high schools, and all of those kids play Magic the Gathering now. They come to the shop and we teach them. I feel like that there's a lot of positive attributes to the game, whether it be from learning curves and skill to just interactions between people and getting to know people. It's one of those games where you're forced to interact. It's not like sitting behind a computer at home. You have to have conversations. You have to be able to state what your cards are doing and what you're doing at all times, and therefore it creates conversation, good or bad. The game has always been a bridge for creating those relationships between people. So yeah, I pretty much owe my life to Magic the Gathering. It's crazy, but it boils down to it, whether it be from collecting for 24 years or just having them, or it is insane. The reason I played this game, it wasn't so much the game itself, it was the social interaction that you got when you played with other players. My favorite time to play Magic was 1997 and 98. Tempest had come out. Tempest was my favorite set. I mean, you had Slivers were first released, and you had the interplanar travel, and you followed the crew of the Skyship Weatherlight. Loved the storyline of the Skyship Weatherlight. So between the interaction of the players and the storyline, I knew I was hooked on this game. I remember going to college my first day, and I was walking down the hall and I saw a big group of people playing Magic the Gathering. And instead of going to class on my first day of college, I stayed and played Magic. Unfortunately, that was the first time I went to school. I had, I think, 6 incompletes. I passed 1 course that semester. It was basketball, because I spent my time playing Magic instead of going to class. Now, I wouldn't recommend not going to school and playing Magic, but at the time, I mean, the social interaction was so great, and the flavor of that storyline was so fantastic that I wanted to talk with people about it. I wanted to eat it and drink it and live it. I wanted to be a part of it. And all these other people at school had now become a part of me. I mean, we would sit down and there would be 30 people playing Magic the Gathering at any given time. And the fact that, you know, I could just sit down, have a conversation about this new set and this fantastic crew trying to navigate through Wrath and stop like Volrath. I mean, the storyline was fantastic. It was the coolest part of the game. I mean, every time I play Magic, I still look back to that point, that storyline. I wish that there was more of that storyline. I wish that, you know, I could have those conversations again. And, you know, not that the storyline now is bad. I still like the storyline of Magic, but I absolutely love that storyline. I fell in love with it, and it continued through 4 or 5 different blocks of Magic. So, I mean, we got that storyline for several years. And so that kind of like pushed me into it, and I've been there ever since. The year was 2002, and I was this radical teenager. I was young. I think I was 21. So not a teenager, I was 21. And I got to go to Gen Con for the first time, which was in Indianapolis. And Gen Con is a 24-hour-a-day, 4-day gaming convention. It's one of the largest gaming conventions in the Midwest. And I had no agenda, no idea what I was going to do. But all the people I went with were board gamers. So I was like, well, I'm resigned to play board games for 4 days. And then I found the Magic Hall. Pastimes is a local Midwestern company, and they ran it. And they ran Magic events 24 hours a day, nonstop. And I remember I got there at like 2 in the afternoon, and I started drafting Magic cards. And I remember I looked at my watch and it was 3 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't even realize it. Didn't eat, didn't drink, didn't go to the bathroom. I was in, I just played Magic. And then I remember I got up, I got myself like something to eat, I went to the bathroom, and then I went right back. I played Magic for 2 days straight without sleeping, and I remember I was trashed by the end of it. But I mean, that's the game. It envelops you. It keeps you there. I was having so much fun, I didn't even realize it. Time flew. And that was my first major gaming convention and probably my first non-stop Magic marathon. It was an exciting adventure. I remember when my friends found me, I was like the disheveled, lost animal in the sewer drain, and they had to somehow try to get me out of there. So I was stuck, I was hooked. I loved it, every minute of it. You take something away from it. You find something that you really enjoy. And one of the things I enjoy most is through this game and traveling, I've met a lot of Magic artists. The guys who've done the artwork for Wizards of the Coast, and they're fantastic people. I've never met a bad artist who is just like, get away from me, or I don't have time. They always have time. They're fantastic people. But because of that, I get the opportunity when I meet them, they get what are called artist proofs, and they get 50 non-foil and 30 foil of every card they've ever drawn. Wizards submits that to them, and they get to do whatever they want. And I enjoy collecting those artist proofs. So I have a binder full of these proofs that have the card on the front and they're blank on the back. And they have really awesome personalized drawings that are specific to me, things that I wanted drawn on them. And at one point, you know, in this game, for being here for so long, you have your collections and you have your quirks, you have the things that you like most about the game. And through the last, you know, at least 15 years, I've been collecting these artist proofs. And they're awesome. And some of my favorites, Dan Scott is an artist. He does Sickening Shoal. And on Sickening Shoal, there's a guy on his knees with a bunch of fish flying around his head. And these fish are all vomiting. I'll never forget when I met Dan Scott, I asked him if he had any prints or any artwork of Sickening Shoal. And he looked at me and goes, "Why would you want that?" And I'll never forget it. I was like, it's my favorite card. I love that card. In the block it was in, I played it all the time, favorite card. And so the next time I saw Dan Scott, he remembered, because I'm apparently the only guy who's ever asked for the Sickening Shoal artwork. So he's like, "Hey, I've got prints of that Sickening Shoal if you want them." And so I purchased a print. And then he showed me artist proofs. And then I started purchasing artist proofs. And each artist proof, he draws a vomiting fish on the back of it for me. And I think I now have 22 vomiting fish. And so every time somebody sees them, they're like, "Why would you want vomiting fish?" Well, the artwork is fantastic. Not because it's a vomiting fish, it's because it's really well done. And also, it's my favorite card. During that block, I played that card all the time. But since then, I've amassed quite the collection of artist proofs with artwork on the back. It's pretty fantastic. Also, I've amassed a collection of alters by artists. So not only do I have the artist proofs, I have cards that they have done the artwork for that they have altered with pens or markers or paints. It's probably my pride and joy of my Magic collection. One of the things I really enjoy about owning the shop is the fact that I get to see so many new people. And we take pride in the fact that we see so many new people and we get to teach them the game. And just the enjoyment on new people when they come into the shop and they sit down and they're like, "Well, what are these guys playing?" And we sit down, we show them, we give them some Magic cards, we teach them how to play the game. And just to see those ones that really enjoy the game, like they found a place, they found a game for them, something that they enjoy, it just makes me happy. Like, I don't think there's a better feeling that I can think of. I mean, every day I see new faces, every day I see new people, and every day I get to teach them a game. And those ones that really enjoy Magic the Gathering, I mean, it's like they found a new home. So it's helped to know that it's the community giving back to the community. But I mean, that's what got me into Magic, and that's how I started playing Magic, and that's where I am today because of Magic. It feels awesome. It feels great to see the looks on their face when they get it, when it clicks, when they play their big creature, when they come back into the shop and they're like, "Oh man, look at these new cards I got," and they talk about their favorite card. And you know, it's most likely not the best card in Magic. It's definitely not the best card in the set, but it's something that makes them happy. It's something that they enjoy to do. And the fact that they get to do it with friends that they just made, it is an awesome feeling. And they feel like they're part of the community, they're part of something else. And we like to give them that. And I want them to be part of something else. I want them to be able to ask any questions or do anything and feel like they belong to something, and not just, well, my friends at school said this. I could care less, as long as they're having a great time. And this game brings them together. This game gives them purpose sometimes, and those are those moments that I enjoy most. To finish this, I would like to state, Wizards of the Coast has been a fantastic company. I've loved it. I look forward to everything else it has in store for me in the future. We're going back to Dominaria, which is where the whole Weatherlight saga took place, with all of the crew of the Skyship Weatherlight. I can't wait. Now, I know that we won't see those familiar faces, but I just look forward to Dominaria. This game is better than any game I've ever played, and I hope the future is just as great as the past has been to me. I'm looking forward to it every day, and I can't wait. So to Dominaria we go.